Imagine a world without art. No paintings, no music, no literature, no dance, no theater. Just a vast grey landscape of pure functionality. A world of spreadsheets, reports, and concrete walls. Yet we often overlook how deeply art is woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Today, let's explore what life would be like without art and why we can't afford to live in that world. Art is more than just decoration. It is a universal language that speaks directly to our hearts and minds, shaping our emotions, ideas, and interactions. From the architecture of our cities to the music that lifts our spirits, art surrounds us, even if we don't consciously notice it. But let me tell you how my journey with art began and why I'm still so passionate about it today. Growing up, I was fortunate to be immersed in a world rich with art and culture. My parents would take me to concerts and opera performances from a very young age. I still remember during the Salzburg festival, musicians would often stay at our house, playing intimate concerts for family and friends. We would sing together during Christmas season. I learned my first instrument, the flute, at the age of 5, then moving on to the violin, later the piano, which I still play today. My mother would take me to vernissage and introduce me to local artists, sparking my interest in art collection at the age of 16. But I was also influenced by my father, a practical engineer and successful business owner. So I decided to study business, embarking on a career as a financial and strategy consultant. After a couple of years, however, I started to feel a void. Something was missing. So, on a therapeutical trip to the Golden Triangle, deep in the jungle of Vietnam, I sketched a business plan on a napkin. A plan that would lead to a new company that would combine my consulting experience with the cultural sector. And this allowed me to reconnect with my passion for the arts. All of a sudden, my world felt whole again. So what did I learn from that experience? Without art, our world lacks color, depth, and connection. And this is not just true today, but has been throughout the greater part of our history. Let's travel back to 15th century Florence. The Medici family, bankers by trade, didn't just fund artists like Michelangelo, Botticelli, or Leonardo da Vinci. They cultivated a culture of creativity. They financed the construction of the St. Peter's Basilica, which is a universal symbol of the Catholic Church. They commissioned the construction of the Florence Cathedral, a masterpiece of Renaissance architecture. They even funded the invention of the piano. They brought together artists, scientists, and philosophers, creating an environment where innovation thrived. So imagine if they would have said, art isn't our responsibility. Art is not important to society. Would the Renaissance have happened in the same way? Would we still have the masterpieces that inspire us today? And although the Renaissance was an evolution of the cultural movement of humanism that was already active in the mid-14th century, before the rise of the Medici, history changed because of that spark, because they cared. The Renaissance then traveled through trade, history, and humanist scholars to other regions, leading to significant cultural transformations across Europe. Artists like Jan van Eyck in Holland or Albrecht Dürer in Germany started to incorporate Renaissance techniques such as realism and perspective into their paintings. Just look at the magnificent Arnolfini portrait of Van Eyck, one of the most complex and original masterpieces of Western art, with its geometrical orthogonal perspective and the expansion of space through the use of a mirror. But the spread of humanism also led to other wealthy families and royal families getting inspired by the Medici family. So they wanted to create a legacy of their own. And one such example was King Francis I of France. He invited artists from all over the world, including Italy, like Leonardo da Vinci, to his court, fostering a unique French Renaissance. He's responsible for the creation of notable castles, such as Chambord or Fontainebleau. But the humanist scholars like Erasmus of Rotterdam and Thomas More in England also promoted the establishment of universities across Europe. They emphasized the importance of education as a means for personal development and civil responsibility. Art doesn't just entertain us, it propels humanity forward. Think about the last time a song lifted your mood or a painting calmed your mind. Studies have shown that engaging with arts reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. More specifically, a 2019 World Health Organization report found that artistic engagement significantly improves mental health. And here's a fun fact: even mice benefit from art. Scientists discovered that playing Mozart for lab mice helped them learn faster. And if it works for mice, imagine what it can do for us. Let's crunch some numbers. People participating in a cultural activity are 38% more likely to report good health. And this number increases to 62% if it's dancing. So sign up for that dance class you always wanted to. People who read for pleasure are 33% more likely to report good health. High school students who engage in cultural activities at school are twice as likely to volunteer and 20% more likely to vote as young adults. So art is essential for learning. Students who engage in artistic activities during high school are better in reading and mathematics. A US study of 25,000 students found that taking part in arts and cultural activities increases student attainments. They have better SAT scores, better thinking skills, and better cognitive abilities. They become more empathetic, more socially aware, and better prepared to navigate a complex world. Beyond education, art is an economic powerhouse. Just look at this photo of the Louvre with the crowds flocking in. On average, 28,000 people visit the Louvre Museum each day. Did you know that in the European Union alone, as of 2019, the cultural and creative industries employed more than 7.6 million people and contributed 643 billion euros to the economy? This represents 4.4% of European Union's GDP. This is more than the agricultural sector, more than the telecommunications sector. So art isn't just a luxury, it is a livelihood. It plays a significant part of our country's economies. But art also preserves our history and identity. Cultural landmarks from the Great Wall of China to the Mona Lisa connect us to our past and inspire future generations. And speaking of the Mona Lisa, there she is. Did you know when it got stolen in 1911, its disappearance caused global panic? Newspapers all over the world printed headlines about the missing art piece. So art isn't just seen, it's felt. But art also serves as a powerful medium for cultural transformation. Whenever art crosses borders, it reshapes and influences the identities of different cultures. And this phenomenon can be observed in various artistic forms, from architecture to music, from literature to visual arts. Let's take the National Tile Museum in Lisbon as an example. showcasing how the history and the craft of the tile were influenced by different cultures over centuries. From its origins that can be traced back to the Islamic period in the Iberian Peninsula, with its geometric patterns and vibrant colors, to the Renaissance artists that would incorporate themes of mythology and religion, to the depiction of historic moments and everyday life during the Baroque period, or the influences of the Portuguese colonial times from Africa to South America or Asia. And finally, contemporary artists who would reinterpret the traditional tile form, experimenting with new techniques and themes. This evolution shows the dynamic nature of art as it crosses borders and fosters cultural exchange. But let's travel back to our grey, artless world. Without art, our cities would lack character. Our workplaces would feel lifeless, and our homes would be mere shelters instead of places of inspiration. Companies would struggle to connect with their employees. Communities would lose their sense of belonging. And here's the real question. If we neglect art today, what future renaissance are we preventing? Art isn't just a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the foundation of culture, of innovation, and human connection. Each of us has the power to contribute to a world that values creativity. Whether we support the arts, we engage with them, or simply take a moment to appreciate them. We all contribute to a richer, more vibrant world. So the next time you listen to a song, you read a book, you watch a play, remember, art is what makes us human. And without it, we would lose more than beauty. We would lose ourselves. Thank you.